Oh dear, Ubisoft is up shit's creek, ladies and gentlemen. Star Wars Outlaws looking like 55% lower sales than Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That's in the UK. But it's not just that. The overall predictions for this are diabolical. Really, really, really bad. So I thought we'd take a look at this. Please do hit subscribe, turn those bell notifications on. Let's dive right into it. So, Star Wars Outlaws. Who's looking forward to it, hey? None of you? Okay. So a new report claims that Star Wars Outlaws sales are 55% lower than the sales of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That's in the UK, so well done, my UK people. According to Nintendo Life, Star Wars Outlaws topped the sales chart in the UK, besting Hogwarts Legacy, Elden Ring, Armored Core 6, Fars of Rubicon, and EA Sports FC 24. However, games industry head Christopher Dring reported launch sales are 55% lower than what Jedi Survivor did. It was 15% bigger than Ubisoft's massive last game, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. You can see it here. I also just want to highlight, by the way, ladies and gents, Ubisoft stock is awful. So this, yeah, I mean, you might be like, oh, it's a bit of a, oh, it's, look, it's all in the green. No. 10 days, 10% down, nearly 11% down. A month, over past month, 9% down. Over 6 months, 24% down, nearly 25%. Year to date, 33% down, nearly 34%. They need a hit. They legitimately need a hit. It's really, really bad. And this, big places are reporting this. So this is Forbes. And they're like, tepid Star Wars Outlaws reception sinks Ubisoft stock. Yeah. Star Wars Outlaws may have reviewed okay enough, but it may not have sold enough. If Ubisoft's recent stock decline is any indication, Ubisoft shares are now down 13.5% in the wake of the launch of Star Wars Outlaws, which analysts say has failed to meet sales targets. So the game was officially released on August 30th. You've not really heard anything about it, have you? I mean, I've not. Which is when the sharp decline started, part of a larger overall decline of 43% this past year. Reuters JP Morgan analyst Daniel Kervin says that Star Wars Outlaws, quote, has struggled to meet our sales expectations despite positive critical reviews, and lowered sales expectations from 7.5 million units down to 5.5. So they're like, yeah, I guess we'll sell like 5.5 million, maybe. That's awful. That is, what is that? That's less than half of what the last Assassin's Creed sold. I mean, that's atrocious. So, yeah, I mean, arguably, the biggest franchise, or was at one point the biggest franchise of all time. Can't pull numbers that a previous Assassin's Creed game did? That's embarrassing. That's absolutely embarrassing. And it says here, the hope was clearly that this big budget, first ever open world Star Wars game would be a huge boon to Ubisoft. But it does not appear. And that's the narrative unfolding. It reportedly cost 30% more than Assassin's Creed Mirage, but was underperforming that game by 15%? Wow. That's awful. So Star Wars Outlaws has been reviewed fine, even positively. So a 76% Metascore is generally viewed as good in the grand scheme of the gaming industry. But I also think people are just sick of games. Like, people's expectations for games is in the toilet now. So, I don't think reviews mean anything in this day and age, surely, for games. If not trending toward average in the world of AAA releases. But that's in the bottom half of Ubisoft's franchise catalogue over the last 10 years. And for some, it's just not the Star Wars game they wanted. Wow. There are also reports that Ubisoft would be large-scale PvP shooter X Defiant is bleeding players, going from a Ubisoft record of 1 million uniques and 8 million total in its first week down to a reported 20,000 concurrent players. Wow, that's shit. Wow, Ubisoft is tanking. Wow, this is the same week that saw the complete and total shutdown of Concord. People don't want these games. They're so shit. Ubisoft has one last card to play in 2024, and that is the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, where players will fight as a BBS, Big Black Samurai, and a ninja in feudal Japan. It's unclear how it will perform, but it reinforces just how heavily Ubisoft leans on Assassin's Creed, and it now cannot bank on what might have been perceived as a sure thing, like a big Star Wars game. But you also did make a shitty game. Like, yeah, it's getting reviewed okay, but there's the message steeped all over this game. And also, like, Star Wars as a brand is dead. Like, it is dead. People are just wise to it. They don't care. And they're not going to spend $100 on a game that arguably they know has incredibly high potential for being shit. Star Wars Outlaws is not a live game, but it will see further content added, while Jedi Fallen Order blah 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 is an adventure game to get a sequel. It's unclear how Outlaws may need to perform to get that green light. Probably never. So Star Wars is in a somewhat rough place in the Disney era, with movies having been paused for years and its Disney Plus shows ending or being cancelled or hugely delayed. Yep. Again, I just, like, it's really important to reiterate just how bad this is. Like, that is bad. And, like, it's so funny as well, just because, you know, they're saying the August 30th release, which, I mean, it is arguably when it started to go down. True. But it was down anyway. 1 year. 5 years. Like, it's woeful, mate. 78.43% in 5 years down. Max? You see this peak here. Like, that's crazy peak. And then it was just... ever since 2020. It's been downhill ever since 2020. What happened in 2020, guys? What happened in 2020, guys? So, yeah, these two reports, very, 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 very funny. Other data points to Star Wars Outlaws might not be selling that well at all. True Trophies reported in its most popular PS5 and PS4 games chart, which ended the week of September 1st, that Star Wars Outlaws placed 25th on the chart. Wow. Said number 25 is just below the middle of the chart, and it sits behind pretty much every major and middling live service game in terms of popularity right now. Normally, these are the early 20 spots where PS Plus indie games debut, not a AAA open world game. It's performed worse than Red Dead Redemption 2, Helldivers 2, Elden Ring, Ubisoft's Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege, Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong absolutely destroyed the video game industry in a good way. This individual says, I have an insider who works for high traffic game stores in one of the most populated places in the US. They have 27 stores in that area, and there have been a total of 41 pre-orders. Holy shit. Wow. Well, there you go, ladies and gents. The comical saga of Star Wars Outlaws. Let me know what you think down below. Love to hear your thoughts. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.